Hi all, today we are going to discuss about resistance measurement. So the resistors can be classified into three categories. The first one is the low resistance. When the resistance is less than 1 ohm, it is called as the low resistance. The example where the low resistance will be there is ammeter shunts, ammeter resistance, diode forward resistance, etc. And the second one, if the resistance is between 1 ohm and 100 kilo ohms, that is generally called as the medium resistance. All the resistances or the resistance of most of the electrical equipment we come across every day, that comes under the category of medium resistance. So specific example of that one is shunt field resistance, all laboratory equipment, all the electrical equipment we come across every day. So they come under the category of medium resistance. And if the resistance is greater than this 100 kilo ohm, that is called as high resistance. So example of high resistance is insulation leakage resistance of your cable. So whatever the cable we are using in our home, because ideally the resistance of that insulation will be infinite, but practically there will be some leakage resistance in mega ohm. So similarly, reverse bias resistance of the diode, all these comes under the category of high resistance. So today we are going to discuss about the measurement of low resistance. So low resistance can be measured using ammeter voltmeter method or potentiometer method or using Kelvin double bridge method. So let us start with ammeter voltmeter method. So ammeter voltmeter method is the simplest and most commonly used method, but the disadvantage of this method is the accuracy will be only around 1%. So there will be some error introduced due to the characteristics of the ammeter and voltmeter used for measurement, because ideally the resistance of voltmeter should be infinite and the resistance of ammeter should be 0, but practically ammeter will always have some resistance and voltmeter always draws some current because resistance is not infinite in practice. So because of that, some error will be introduced in measurement. So accuracy will be limited up to 1% only. So up to 1% error is okay, it is allowed. Then in that case we can go for ammeter voltmeter method. So again in ammeter voltmeter method, two types of connections are possible. So depending on whether you are connecting the voltmeter first followed by ammeter or ammeter followed by voltmeter. So let us see each one of these methods. So first one I am starting with voltmeter followed by the ammeter. That means first we are connecting the voltmeter, then followed by the ammeter. So for that I am assuming let Ra be the resistance of the ammeter. So let Ra be the resistance of the ammeter. So you can see here this voltmeter measures the voltage drop across these two terminals. Agree with me? So what is the voltage that is measured by this voltmeter? Voltage measured by the voltmeter will be voltage drop across this resistor, that is VR, plus voltage drop across your ammeter. Because ammeter resistance is equal to not 0, it is having a resistance of Ra. This current I multiplied by Ra, that gives voltage drop across this ammeter. So both will be measured by this one. So we can calculate the measured resistance measured value of resistance. So that I am representing by R measured value, which is equal to the voltmeter reading divided by the ammeter reading. The current that is measured by the ammeter and voltage measured by the voltmeter. What is the actual voltage that is measured by the voltmeter? So that I can write as voltage measured by the voltmeter is the sum of VR plus VA divided by I. So what is equal to VR? VR is nothing but I passing through the resistance R plus VA, that means voltage drop across the ammeter will be current I is passing, same current is passing through the resistance as well as the ammeter here. So this will be I multiplied by resistance of the ammeter divided by I. Or we can tell that the actual measured value will be actual value plus the resistance of the ammeter. So here the measured value will always be greater than the actual value, because the measured value is equal to R plus Ra. That is a disadvantage of this one. Or we can tell that the actual resistance is equal to R is equal to measured value minus R, this resistance of this ammeter resistance. Agree with me? So from this I can calculate the relative error. So how much is the relative error that is introduced? Let us take it as epsilon R1, because we are taking the first case. So relative resistance will be equal to measured value minus true value divided by true value. Agree with me? So what is the measured value? Measured value is R plus Ra. This is R plus Ra minus R divided by R. or this RR will cancel. So this will become equal to RA divided by R. So let us take it as equation number 2. So we can tell that the relative error is a ratio of RA divided by R. This is ammeter resistance divided by resistance under measurement. So if you want to decrease the error, what should be, when the error will be decreased? Either the value of armature resistance should be negligible or 0, then the error will be 0, or the value of the resistance to be measured is greater than the armature resistance. That means if the value of R is greater than RA, then only the relative error will decrease. So from equation number 2, the same thing I have mentioned here, the error is less if the measured value of the resistance or the resistance to be measured is far greater than the resistance of your ammeter. So that's why this method cannot be used for measuring the low resistance, because for the case of low resistance, the resistance of ammeter will be in the range of this unknown resistance only, because I told you that the resistance of the ammeter also comes under the low resistance category. That's why the error introduced will be very high. That's why this method is not used in practice for measurement of low resistance. So second type of connection that is possible is, first we connect the ammeter followed by the voltmeter. You can see here ammeter is connected first followed by the voltmeter. So practically voltmeter also draws some current. Let us assume the current drawn by the voltmeter is IE and the current that is passing through the resistance I am taking as IR. So voltage drop across the resistor is VR. So whatever is the voltage drop across the resistor, same voltage drop is appearing across your voltmeter also. So your voltmeter will measure the voltage drop across the resistor. That means whatever is indicated by the voltmeter, that is equal to actual voltage drop across the resistor. But the current measured by the ammeter will be the sum of the current drawn by the voltmeter plus the current drawn by the resistor. That means current passing through both will be measured by the ammeter. It is the sum of both the currents. So again here I am taking, let RV be the resistance of the voltmeter. Then we can tell that the measured value. So this is the second method. So I am writing as RM. M stands for measured and 2 is the second method. This will be ratio of voltage measured by the voltmeter divided by current measured by the ammeter. So this will be equal to V divided by, what is the current? Current is the sum of two currents. So one current is IR and the second current is the current passing through the voltmeter. So let us try to substitute those values. So this will be equal to V divided by, what is the current? IR. IR is nothing but VR divided by R. And we know that VR is nothing but the voltage measured by the voltmeter. So this I can write as V by R plus V by the resistance of this voltmeter. So resistance of the voltmeter I can take it RV. Okay. So this is the value we get. So this I can write as R divided by 1 plus R divided by RV. So you can write in this form. You can see, you can simplify it. V will cancel both sides. It is 1 by R plus 1 by RV. So 1 by R you take outside, this will become 1 plus R by RV. That R go to numerator, so it become R divided by 1 plus R by RV. So let us take it as equation number 3. Even this I can further simplify. So this can be written as, so if you are taking this RRV, so if you are taking this as common, this will become RRV, that comes to the numerator. This will be RV plus R, or this I can write as R into RV divided by R plus RV. Even I can write in this form. So let us take this as equation number 3 to avoid the confusion. Getting it? So let us proceed further. So let us calculate what will be the relative error. How much error will be there? So relative error. So the relative error I am taking as epsilon R2. Again relative error will be equal to measured value minus actual value divided by actual value. So what is a measured value? Measured value is R into RV divided by R plus RV minus R divided by R. So if you are taking this, R will cancel everywhere, R will cancel. This will be RV by R plus RV minus 1. So this will be equal to RV minus R plus RV divided by R plus RV. Agree with me? So this will be equal to minus R divided by R plus RV, minus R divided by R plus RV, or this I can write as minus 1 divided by 1 plus RV divided by R, because we can take this R to the denominator, divided by R, here also divided by R will come. So minus 1 divided by 1 plus RV by R. So practically the value of the voltage resistance of the voltmeter, if it is greater than the value of the resistance, because we are measuring the low resistance. Low resistance means this resistance will be far less than the resistance of the voltmeter, obviously. So that's why in practice for RV is far greater than the value of the low resistance. So that's why from this we can tell that epsilon R2 will be equal to this RV by R I can neglect, because RV is far greater than R. So 1 plus RV by R I can neglect the 1, this becomes RV by R. So R come to the numerator, so this becomes minus R divided by RV. This is approximately equal to minus R divided by RV. So two observations are there. Here you are getting the negative sign. What is the meaning of the negative sign? So measured value is less than the actual value. That means using the second method, the measured value will be less than the actual value, and this error is decided by the ratio of resistance to be measured divided by resistance of the voltmeter. So if the ratio of R by RV is very less, in that case the error will be minimum, or otherwise we can tell that the error will be minimum when the value of resistance of the voltmeter is far greater than the value of the resistance to be measured. So that's why this is the best method suited for the case of measurement of low resistance. So when compared to first connection, this connection only is used in practice. So again I am summarizing, the first connection the measured value will be greater than the actual value, and practically the resistance of the ammeter is very nearly equal to the resistance to be measured, or sometimes it can be even more. So that's why that gives the huge value of the error. Whereas in the case of second method, so it is the error is only minus R divided by RV. So practically as the value of RV is far greater than R, because we are measuring the low resistance value. So that's why, so this will have the less error when compared to the first method. So that's why this method is used in practice. So now practically, to avoid the effect of lead and contact resistances, because generally low resistance means, let us take for example resistance is 0.01 ohms. So whenever you are connecting the leads, whenever you are joining two wires, so there will be a contact resistance which we generally call as the contact resistance or joining resistance, and second one, there will be a connecting wire which is connecting between the resistance to your ammeter or the voltmeter. So that is called as the lead resistance. So this lead and the contact resistance, because they are not insignificant when compared to resistance under measurement. So that leads to error, because whatever method we are seeing here, like you are going for this method, I told you this is best method, but you can see this ammeter is connected to this resistance. So this lead will have some resistance. Similarly, this lead also has some resistance, and similarly this voltmeter, whatever is there, the voltage measured by the voltmeter will be the sum of VR plus voltage drop across these leads plus again at this contact, because wherever the junction is there, this junction also will have the contact resistance. So that voltage drop across this contact also will be measured. So that is the disadvantage of this one. So in order to avoid that problem, practically all the low resistances are provided with 4 terminals. In practice, every low resistance is provided with 4 terminals. The terminals will be named as a C and C dash. So C and C dash, the C stands for the current. So these are the current terminals used to lead the current to and from the resistor. So that will be connected to your circuit, either for measuring the current, or this is used for connecting to your circuit. So if you want to measure the voltage across this resistor, in that case the voltage will be measured across a P and a P dash. So that's why that P stands for the potential. These are nothing but the potential terminals. So what is the advantage of this one? So whenever you are making the joint, like you are making the joint here also, always there will be some voltage drop due to this contact resistance, and there will be voltage drop due to the lead also, these leads also. So that is not measured by the voltmeter. So from this point to this point, this lead resistance and this lead resistance, that is not measured by the voltmeter, as well as the contact drop of this C and C dash is not measured by the voltmeter. Getting it? So and ammeter will measure the current IR plus IV, because we have seen in the second method generally the value of IV is very less. So that's why we can neglect that effect. So now coming to the voltmeter, voltmeter measures the voltage drop across these terminals P and P dash. That means between P and P dash what are there? This much length of leads are there, but generally these leads length will be very small and the proper precaution will be taken. And the second one, this leads resistance is there plus this contact resistance, that also will be measured by this voltmeter. That means this voltmeter measures voltage drop across this IR plus voltage drop in this lead plus voltage drop across this contact. But we know the value of IV is very less. as the value of IV is very less, so automatically voltage drop in these leads as well as this contact, so that will be very less compared to resistance of the voltmeter. I am repeating once again, the voltage measured by the voltmeter will be the voltage across the terminals P and P dash. Across P and P dash, what are there? IR multiplied by the resistance plus this IV multiplied by this two side lead resistance plus this IV multiplied by two side contact resistance. Agree with me? But practically we know the value of IV is very less. So as the value of IV is very less, because, or otherwise we can tell the resistance of the voltmeter is far high when compared to the resistance of these leads or contact resistance. So the voltage drop measured by this will be neglected, because voltage drop across this voltmeter resistance will be far greater than voltage drop across these leads. Getting it? So that's why it doesn't measure the voltage drop happening in these leads and this contact resistance. So that's why the accuracy of measurement will improve. That's why in practice, always for measurement of low resistance, the resistors are provided with 4 terminals, potential terminals and current terminals. I hope this is clear up to now. So I hope this measurement of resistance, low resistance using ammeter voltmeter method is clear to you. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.